I just took like 70 photos of this board because when I put the elastic on, you guys know I showed you when I put the rubber elastic on, it pressed the button and it took like 70 photos. Okay, last part, turning. When it comes to turning, there are two things that you have to keep in mind. It will ask you, or it will tell you whether it must turn, this is a terrible clock, but okay. It will tell you whether it must turn clockwise or anti-clockwise, and it will say what fraction. So think of turning as a car with two wheels. One will tell you which way the wheel is turning, and the other one will tell you how far the wheel is turning. Good. So let's look at an example. I'm going to use this. All right. First thing that I'm going to tell you is to turn it clockwise. Second thing I'm going to tell you is to turn it halfway clockwise. Now, first thing you need to know, which way is clockwise? Clockwise, if we look at a clock, the 12 will be here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now quickly tell me, do we tell time backwards or do we count forward? We count forward like we normally do. So, from 1, 2, 3, this is clockwise, which means to the right. Turning it to the right is clockwise. When it comes to turning, always imagine your shape in a big circle. That will make it so much easier. I wish my circles looked like actual circles today, but whatever, you get the point. When it comes to turning, always imagine your shape in a big circle because you are dealing with the wheels of the car. Do you remember? One wheel tells me which way, which direction, and the other wheel tells me how far. So when you think of a shape and you have to turn it, always think, okay, it's in a big circle. First, I need to figure out which way is the wheel moving. They are saying clockwise, so clockwise means to the right. The next part is telling me halfway. Now, we learnt about half already. Divide your circle in half. You can either do it vertically or horizontally. I'm going to do it horizontally. So now divide it in half. Half means two parts. The bottom, which is called the denominator, just so by the way, we'll get to that. So the bottom part of my fraction will always tell me how many parts my shape is divided into, and it's telling me it's divided into two. This was where my shape was. Now I have to turn it this way, but so that this, the point, is in the other side of the shape. They don't want it in this side anymore. That's why you're turning it. They don't want it in this side of the circle anymore. They want it in the other one. So we turn it so that it faces into the other one, and we turned it clockwise. So that's its landing place, and that is my answer. This is what my shape will look like if I turned it clockwise and halfway. Then this is what my shape would look like. Good, let's take a look at another one. The best advice I can give you is to always put your shape in a circle. That's the easiest way. And then figure out which way is the wheel turning and how far. So let's say this is my shape now. I'm immediately going to draw a circle around it. You are allowed to do this, by the way. If you get a quiz or something and there's space, you are allowed to draw a circle around it. Good. First thing I'm going to tell you, oopsie, my cardigan, is anti, I don't know which one. Anti-clockwise, number 2, a quarter of the way. Good. First you need to figure out which way is the wheel turning? They're saying anti-clockwise. If clockwise goes to the right, then that means anti-clockwise goes to the left. So my shape is going to turn this way. But we don't know how far yet, so we leave it at its original place. Now they are saying it's moving a quarter of the way that way. Now, turning I meant. The bottom part of my fraction will always say how many parts the shape must be divided into. The shape must now be divided into 4 parts. So, 4 equal parts. So here it is. My shape in 4 parts. Now I put it back. Now, I would suggest, like you did with the moving where you chose a corner, I would suggest doing the same. So for example, let's say I decide on this corner, I'm just going to make a little dot there. They are saying move it a quarter of the way. So whatever is in this quarter where my dot is, this little part must now move that way, but only one of the blocks. So this I now want in this block because that is going anti-clockwise and to the next one. So I turn it once out of the 4 and there's my answer. Good, let's take a look at it. Let's say I give it to you like this. Hold on. Let's say I give it to you this way. I give you, and you will have to go draw. Let me just quickly take a look. Hold on for me. If I ever give it to you like this, let's say I do this, and let's do a heart, why not? And I say, turn this shape, or quarter turn this shape clockwise. Quarter turn clockwise. Think of the wheel, okay? So, quarter turn this shape clockwise. Now, you can either go draw a wheel around this one and then draw one here so that you can put the final one in here, or you can just leave it and go do it without the wheel. We'll do this one without the wheel. Now, first thing we need to know, which way is the wheel turning? Did I say clockwise? Quarter turn this one clockwise. I think I said clockwise. Clockwise goes to the right. So this shape has to move to the right. That's something that I know now. And I said quarter, so we can divide it into 4 equal parts. All right. Now I choose a corner. Let's say I chose that top corner. If I moved this shape a quarter of the way, that means this dot must now not be in this one. A quarter, remember, is 1/4. So that means 4 parts, and it must go to the next one block. So it's now in this block. If it's a 2, you would have to go on 2 blocks. We'll get to that. So it's in this block. Now it has to go 1 to the right. So this dot must now be in this block. But I can't just move it up like this. I must turn it. So with other words, this is what it's going to look like. And now my dot is there. Because I took this shape and I turned it to the right and 1/4. These are abstract ideas. These are things that are going to require some brain power, some figuring out skills, some practicing, some drawing, some sketching, whatever you need to do to get to the answer. But think of it as a concrete object. Think of it as a pencil. I'm asking you here. Turn it a quarter of the way, okay? Let's say this side of my pen must now be here. So now I turn it to the right and only a quarter. There we go. Okay, let's do the heart. Let's say I told you, move it 3/4 of the way anti-clockwise. Uh-oh. All right. I would suggest doing the circles, but let's see what it looks like without the circle. All right, so 3/4 of the way anti-clockwise. First thing we need to know, which way are we turning it? Anti-clockwise, which is to the left. This is just something you will have to go study. Anti-clockwise is to the left. Ow. Okay, so we know that this shape is going to turn that way. So it's going to turn like this. If these are the 2 bumps of my heart, they are going to turn like this because they are going to the left. Now I'm saying 3/4 of the way. 4 tells me my imaginary circle will be in 4 parts. Okay, let's say this one is now in the first part. Or no, let's use this one. First part. Now I'm saying 3/4 of the way. So now it must move 3 of my divisions. So now this will go from 1. Imagine the circle behind the shape. Actually, you guys, you know what? There's no circumstance where you're not going to be allowed to draw a circle. So I'm going to suggest that you do that. Even if you don't have to. If the circle makes it confusing for you, if the circle doesn't help you, you don't have to do that. I'm just trying to show it to you in a logical way. So let's say I chose this one. It now has to move 3 on, but that way. So now I go, okay, 1, 2, 3. So that means this bubble will now have to be here, which means if I had to draw my, because remember I wanted here now. This side of the heart must be here now. So I just turn and I draw it like that. And that means it went 1, 2, 3/4 of the way anti-clockwise. Good. I hope that helped you guys a bit with the moving, symmetry, and turning. Go watch this video again. I'll actually go look for some links to make it even more. But the thing is, they only show... I'll try and find ones that are on your level. If I can't, then I apologize. But yeah, and then I'm going to start uploading Tuesday's videos today as well. You can choose whether you want to do them today or whether you want to move this entire week 1 day up. But if you do the Tuesday videos today, I just have to say you will have 4 days of work and then you will have a normal weekend. But it's up to you. All right. I hope this helped you.